Hello everyone, it's Becky here from Ivy's Corner and I'm back following Project Pack 26 to do a little bit of breakdown on how I went about constructing the strings for this project pack. Now, if you're not familiar with the Zentangle project packs, then I'd highly recommend that you hop over to Zentangle HQ and have a little look at their project packs and the project pack videos. Now, the project packs are wonderful resources for creating and following along with projects that have been created especially for tanglers all around the world by Zentangle HQ and the team there. So the team over there, we have Rick and Maria, Molly and Martha and Julie, who all create wonderful video lessons for us to all follow along and put our own spin on the tangles that they help us to create. And in Project Pack 26, they've been focusing on the concept of the string in Zentangle. You can hop over to my website if you're unfamiliar with this concept or of strings or anything to do with Zentangle and learn a little bit more about the method and what it's all about, basically. I'll pop some links in the description below. Now, if you are familiar with the Zentangle project packs, then you will know that they sell, Zentangle HQ sell these wonderful project packs on their website. And I do highly recommend that you try and get hold of them if you can. For some of us, it's not always that easy. Now, I'm based in the UK. Zentangle HQ is based over in the USA, and it's quite expensive for me to order anything from the Zentangle website. It can be quite difficult to do that. It costs a lot for postage, etc. So the Zentangle team do say if you struggle to get hold of the project packs, then you can use your own materials that you have at home. The problem is that with the Zentangle project pack 26 in particular, especially being all about strings, the tiles included in this project pack were based around pre-strung tiles, pre-strung Zendala tiles, and these tiles obviously come with a string already printed. Now, because the nature of the project pack is all about the string and it relies so heavily on that, I wanted to then draw out my own strings on Zendala tiles that I already had at home. And what I wanted to do in this video was just to show you how I went about doing that in case you're in the same boat as me and couldn't get hold of the project pack as it was or as it's intended to be. But I do recommend that you buy them if you can do from the Zentangle HQ website. So without further ado, let me just show you how I went about creating the string for day number 2 of Zentangle Project Pack 26. So here I am in the corner of your screen, and you will see here that I have my Ivy's Corner tile divider document. Now, this is a document that I've created which has, it basically gives you a template for dividing up tiles, all different kind of Zentangle tiles, so that you can kind of create spaces that are even and equally distributed across the tile. This isn't always necessary in Zentangle, and sometimes it's best just to go kind of freehand, but having the tile divider just gives you a bit of an idea of giving you or helping you to divide up the space if you want to make it a little bit more even, as we do when following these project pack videos. So I've already, if you hop back to my day 1 video, I've already been through this document a little bit, but I'm going to just open it up to the Zendala page for you. There's a page for each different type of tile in the Zentangle method, or the Zentangle tiles that are available from Zentangle HQ. And here we have the Zendala tile marker. So what I've got here to help me with this is obviously a Zendala tile. I've got a pencil and a precision eraser. Now, one of the things that I was keen to do when metering out these strings was not to kind of overly worry about anything being too precise, because I feel like that's part of the Zentangle method, is to kind of draw freehand and be confident in things not being perfect. And so I've been using the tile divider to help me divide the spaces, but then drawing the strings freehand. And I'm going to show you how I've gone about doing that. Having said that, I have got this precision eraser because sometimes when you're sketching things, the lines are a little bit muddy and not so clear. And I wanted to be sure that I was kind of knew where I didn't want to be distracted by kind of rough lines when I was going to be filling the string with tangles. So without further ado, let's get going with Project Pack 26 Day 2's string. So to draw this string, the first thing that I did was to get my Zendala tile marker and divide the space up into 12 different spaces. So if you imagine having a pie sliced into 12 sections, that's what it would look like. So I'm going to use my numbers around my tile divider. Now, you can get hold of this tile divider completely free on my website. I'll pop a link in the description below for you. But you can use these numbers here because this is divided into 12 sections, much like a clock. So we have 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and back to 12 again. So I'm going to use those numbers to help me divide my space into 12. Just ignoring the other lines at this stage. The other lines on here help me to divide the tile into different sort of numbers of sections. And if you have a little read of the tile divider information at the beginning, it will tell you how to go about doing that. But just be careful that you're selecting the correct ones rather than the other ones that might be a bit confusing. So there's my tile divided into 12 sections. Now the next thing that I like to do is when I need to find the central point of this tile, I just grab hold of whatever I have to hand that's straight that will help me to kind of roughly work out where that middle is. So I've got my micron pen here, and then lining this up, let me just zoom in a little bit more for you actually. Now that I've taken the tile divider off the table, we don't need to worry too much about, there we go, focused for you. Yeah, so now that the tile divider's gone, I can zoom in a little more. So here we have my divided up tile, and I'm going to use my micron just to kind of give me a guideline of roughly where my opposite lines are. And I'm going to just use it to draw a rough line of that middle part there. And I'm going to do the same, so turn my tile a quarter turn so I can line up the next lines here. And there we have that cross, which roughly illustrates where the middle part of that tile is. I'm not using a ruler because I'm trying not to be too worried about, you know, things being a bit wonky. So once I've got my middle part, I'm going to look at the different lines here. And if you consider this as being 12 o'clock, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, I'm going to try and join together number 1 with number 5 via this central point here. So I'm going to kind of use the heel of my hand to curve my line. I'm going to draw roughly from here to the centre and then curve it round. But you can see that that's far too pointy for how I want it to be. So I'm going to go back again and using that line as a guide, make this line a bit more curvy with more of a natural curve to it. And you'll see I'm sort of drawing like this to give me a bit of a sketchy kind of line, but these strings all disappear, and then I'm going to go back in and just refine it very slightly, so get rid of that first one that wasn't really right for me. Now I have been told that actually you can use a Zendala to do this, but I felt like that the shape wasn't quite right for that. Perhaps it doesn't really line up with these points in the way that I was hoping to reach the middle, but you could always use a Zendala to give you that kind of true curve, but I'm not too worried about it being a perfect circle. There we go. I'm going to turn my tile and I'm going to do the same thing here. So joining point number 1 with point number 5, or the new point number 1 with the new point number 5. And just using the heel of my hand to give me that curved line. Just refining it very slightly with the precision eraser, and then moving on to the next one, which is here. So coming in from this point number 1, so bearing in mind that whatever's at the top is point number 12 on the clock. Point number 1, and then looping round in a nice curve, like so. And then the final, well, not the final line, but the final curve of this type is going to come from, I've turned my tile, so I've got these spaces here. I should have numbered them all to start with, really. We're going from here, curving round, touching that central point, and then back out again. Like so. So you can see there we have a lovely kind of almost like floral shape to our tile. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to think about these 4 petals here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and what we want to do is join the points that have kind of are in the middle of these flowers together. So this point is going to join this point, this point and this point, and then almost like a curved square in there. And I'm going to kind of, I want to aim for the middle of this petal. I want to aim a little bit further up to kind of create a sort of smallish triangle with a curved bottom in the centre here. So I'm just going to use the same curved motion to join those two. And it's not going to be perfect, but I think it's going to be good enough for you to be able to follow the videos and to give you that shape that you're after. Just turning my tile each time, just creating those lovely curved shapes. Like so. And then just going back and forth until I'm happy, and then using that precision eraser just to tidy up any lines to make it clearer where I want to be drawing. This tile was created, this was a Rick tile, and he went ahead and then divided up these squarish spaces into triangles, and then we drew Paradox, which was a really fun tile to complete. So I'm quite interested to see what else I can do with this tile now that I have another string to use. I hope that was really helpful for you. Do pop back and watch my day 1 video, pop ahead and watch my day 3 video, and I hope that you found it useful. Please tag me in whatever you, if you managed to create your strings using this video, and let me know what you managed to create. And you can use the hashtag Ivy's Corner, or tag me at Ivy's_corner_arts. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I post lots of videos on here quite often, so you can keep up to date with what I'm up to. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.